Okay, weed. I want to talk about weed for a second. And sometimes, you know, when I do this, I'm typically talking to men. I usually mostly work with young men, but young women too. But I'm really talking to young men here. And weed is what weed is. Talking to everybody, men and women, weed is amotivational. When you're a young person and you have to make choices that will affect the rest of your life, whether you do this job, whether you take this training, whether you stay in school, whether you work, whether you don't work, amotivational, the inability to motivate, is a huge danger in itself, right? I remember watching a vignette once back in the 80s, short little video clips that were put out, drug awareness, the government, and the little vignette was about marijuana. And it started like this: 3 guys in a basement watching a hockey game smoking a joint. They're in their 30s. They hear a noise, they put the joint out, they spray some smell to cover it, and down comes 70-year-old mom. What are you boys doing down here? Nothing, Mom, we're just watching the game. And that was the end of the vignette. And I thought, if you weren't chronic, if you weren't a dope smoker, you wouldn't get it. But it was beautiful. They're 30-something years old and still in their mom's basement. It just shows you what amotivational is in just one little window, of looking at it. So amotivational itself is a danger. When I was first in prison, weed, the guards kind of let it go because it is its own babysitter of guys. Like I remember a guard saying to me, the only thing you guys are killing when you're high on that stuff is a box of cookies. Right? So pragmatically, they liked that weed was smoked. So weed was smoked a lot in prison. And I would watch guys who are chronic. Right? They smoke, it's how they did time. Smoke in the morning, smoke at lunch, smoke all night. That's how they did time. Right? And I'd watch them, and there's no polite way to say this. I'd watch guys develop man boobs and put fat on their hips, female deposit fat, and I couldn't figure it out. So anecdotally, just in my own knowledge base, weed makes you less of a man. So I've got guys who are training as hard as me in the gym and running like I do in the yard and putting on weight, and losing strength. When I was in 4th year biological pharmacology at Queen's, I did a paper on a lipid delivery system of plant-based sterols within the female reproductive system. And when I was looking at the molecule, it's an estrogen plant molecule that's used to deliver these drugs and everything because of how estrogen leaks out slowly the lipid through this lipid delivery system, fat delivery system. And I looked at the molecule and went, oh my God. And I went back to McKim's reference on THC, and guess what, guys? THC is an estrogen. It's a female hormone. So if you want to be less of a man, smoke all the time. By the way, one joint stays in your body 30 to 45 days before it leaches out. Right? So the effects of that, and it's additive. In other words, if you smoke another joint during that period of time, you're actually adding to it because it leaches out so slowly. So just be careful. There's dangers that exist with, besides that weed is getting so strong now because of hydro grows and everything, and just trying to claim territory because weed is becoming a real cash crop where they can make huge money. Is that back in the hippie days, you smoked a joint, you ate a bag of chips, and you giggled. Now you smoke a joint, you throw up, and you go into paranoia and peek out the curtains of your house, thinking somebody's coming. That's a narcotic high as opposed to an organic high, and there's a big difference there. So it is what it is, and it's dangerous, and it's criminal. And that's the big thing, is it's a charge. If you want to cross the border, you're not crossing anymore. And so just to let you know, even though the world looks at it as a fairly benign substance, it isn't.